This says a lot about our self-esteem as a nation. We live in the most technologically advanced, prosperous point of human existence thus far. To give you an idea of just how far we've come from the previous peak of human potential, which we all know as the song I Begin to Wonder by Danny Minogue. It must be awful living under the shadow cast by the most famous of the Minogues. Her Irish-born accountant dad, Ronald Charles Minogue. By today's standards, that 2003 video that at the time was praised for its futuristic vibe looks like an ad for the Lighting Effects Expo of 1989. Yeah, alright, I'll come again, but this time can we please not pay unnecessary attention to my bald head? No. Ugh, gross. He's got one of those bald guy temple veins on the right side of his head. Can we get some more light on that? Yet at this acme of human brilliance, where we as a species are exploring new worlds, Australia sees perfect sense in being ruled by a bogan. She looks like she cries whenever she hears the song Waltzing Matilda. He never got to finish eating that sheep. Can't we raise the bar of who gets to have an extremely disturbing influence on our politics and media a little higher than some? What, watching the arena channel's a hobby? I've got interests. Hillbilly from, to use an Australian colloquialism, bumfuck nowhere. Her formative years were spent here. These were her neighbours. I'm sure those two filled her mind with pearls of wisdom that make her qualified to make decisions that alter the nation. The reason there's two of us is because there's two sides of the brain. What? I didn't know that! Mix into the equation that this human being probably enjoys ferreting with the fact that she's utterly insane. She actually pushed, not just suggested, pushed for Western Australia to be nuclear bombed. In the words of a 1980s business executive, boo. It would honestly be better for Australia if the Council of Doom actually existed. At least they could point her in the right direction by saying, I think you misunderstand the point of a nuclear weapon, Gina. You're supposed to point it at a country you don't like. Shut up, commie. Don't tell me how to spend my money. Oh my god. Why do good things happen to bad people? And yet, despite wanting to drop a doomsday device on the place she lives, clearly an intellectual match for the best of them, Nelson Muntz, as they both seem to believe,
I don't know. Gotta nuke something.
Was Gina thrown into the nut house or arrested for plotting a terrorist attack? No, instead she was allowed to buy up a huge portion of our nation's media that she, the woman that wanted to nuke us, uses to make the Greens look crazy. Yeah, because they believe in climate change. No climate change where I'm from. It's always been hot. Yeah, go on, Gina. How about you do your version of a badoom-tish? Boom! If Americans watching this can't yet empathize with how embarrassing that is, let's put it this way. We're ruled by Honey Boo Boo's mum. She didn't earn any of the wealth she uses to manipulate our democracy either. She inherited it. Billions of dollars, billions of tons of iron ore, get this, tax-free. She was then hailed by the media she owns as a financial genius for somehow figuring out a way of increasing a wealth base purely on mining in the middle of the biggest mining boom in history. You can't do it too. Don't forget to read me biography for absolutely no tips. Despite what Channel 10 will have you believe, the only genius financial decision Gina ever made was not being choked by her own umbilical cord. Boldly separating herself from the conventional thinking of the day, and I'm sure those 300 million other sperm cells are kicking themselves now. No, at this stage of development that's physically impossible, and P.S. can you not rub it in? Is our self-esteem as a nation that low that while virtually every other Western nation on earth has an inheritance tax, we think, well, I pay almost 40% taxes on everything I earn and I'm not worth billions of dollars. And you didn't do anything for your wealth, Gina, so... No, it was a gift! They were given to me as a gift! That's enough reason for paying absolutely no taxes while you have to pay almost half? Yeah, no, you're right, sorry about that. 6 months later. Oh, if only I read The Power of a Positive No 6 months ago. This feels incredible to say, because no one can ever again accuse me of being blindly left on issues, as I am incredibly right-wing on this one. Any Liberal voter by comparison is, take it away former US Senator Joseph McCarthy, a dirty good-for-nothing communist. While all these pussy Liberal voting hippies are busy kumbayaing around the guitar circle writings of the IPA, the think tank where the Liberal Party gets its ideas from, I, a real right-wing sociopath, support the ideas where where the Republicans get their ideas from. The Cato Institute. The crack cocaine version of the IPA. If we were to measure how far right we were on this issue using a measure of crack addicts, you'd be Drew Barrymore and I'd be Janice Dickinson.
You think you're more hardcore than me, hon?
You agree with Mikalia Novak.
Supporting a foreigner too. Yuck.
I agree with James M. Buchanan, you bleeding hearts.
Trump that.
That's one of the founding forefathers of neoliberalism, which is basically
Everything for the rich, words of encouragement for the poor.
whatever I'm sorry, I mean Buchanan. The guy that helped invent that system wanted 100% inheritance tax. Why? Because right-wing economics is all about going with the natural flow of humanity. And in this instance, I wholeheartedly agree, and I think you do too. I think we all want to see Gina Reinhardt be what she was born to be, which is essentially Lisa Simpson imagining her life being married to Ralph Wiggum where she groans.
Quit it! Quit it! Quit! You kids knock it off!
In the description is a petition endorsed by an incredibly impressive number of economists from various schools of thought, all endorsing a 3% inheritance tax, which is not only very reasonable, it makes total economic sense, which is why virtually every other Western nation on Earth has one, and if you want to go for the additional 97% after that, on our Facebook page is an opaque photo of James M. Buchanan dressed as the can of the Singaporean energy drink, 100+, haunting Gina Reinhardt as a baby to remind her, I want it all, and I want it now. Let's all send James M. Buchanan to any and every Australian billionaire's Twitter account to spook them out of objecting to the 3% inheritance tax. And if any of you get a response, you'll forever be remembered in the friendlyjordies Facebook Hall of Fame for being 100% candid with billionaires. Your face, of course, being at the center of that 100+ can. So remember, sign the petition and then...
Can you do the Can Man? Make Can Man proud, kiddies. Tweet me to a billionaire today.
Please press the subscribe button now.
Come on.